In this video, we'll discuss about contact flows and how to create them. As mentioned in the earlier videos, a contact flow defines a customer's experience with your contact center from the start to finish. In order to create a contact flow, go to Routing and click Contact Flows. Now here you can see a lot of sample contact flows that came with this Amazon Connect instance. You can use these to learn how to create your own contact flows. The description will give you a high-level overview of each of these flows. There are various types of contact flows in Amazon Connect, and we'll look at these types in the next video. But for now, let's go ahead and build a simple contact flow and see how it works. So I'll click this button, Create Contact Flow, and this will launch the Contact Flow Designer. Now here you can give a name for the contact flow, so I will give it as Busy Ping Inbound Flow. And if I click the Show Additional Flow Information, you can give a description here. Now here you can see there are 5 categories: interact, set, branch, integrate, and terminate or transfer. And if you expand each of these categories, you can see there are several activities which are called contact blocks. And as the name suggests, these will form the building blocks of our contact flow. The start block or the entry point is the starting block of the contact flow, and when a customer calls the phone number, this is where the call starts. So let's add a welcome message to greet our customer by using this play prompt block. You can do this by simply clicking on it and holding down your mouse button, drag and drop into the canvas. Now I'll click on the exit point of the start block and drag and drop it into the entry point of the play prompt block. Then I'll click on this blue title bar and it'll open the properties of this block. There are 2 types of prompts you can use: an audio file or the text-to-speech engine. And for both these options, you can either have a static message, which will be the exact same message for all the calls, or a dynamic message where you can customize the prompt depending on various attributes. For example, instead of saying, "Thank you for calling Busy Ping Broadband Services," you can customize it to say, "Hello John, thank you for calling Busy Ping Broadband Services." This can be done by identifying the customer's phone number and looking up on a database to retrieve the name. We will go through those advanced topics in the later videos, but for now I will simply use a static welcome message, which is, "Thank you for calling Busy Ping Broadband Services." Next, I want to ask the customer to press 1 for sales, 2 for customer service, and 3 for technical support. So for that, I'll drag and drop this Get Customer Input block and connect the play prompt to this. You can see it already has 3 options: timeout, default, and error. If the customer doesn't press any button before the timeout value, then it'll take the timeout path. If the customer presses any button other than what we will configure here, which are options 1, 2, and 3, then it'll take the default path. And finally, for any other errors, it'll take the error path. Now let's add our 3 options, option 1, 2, and 3. So I'll open the properties by clicking the title bar of this block. And I'll again select text to speech and say, please press 1 for sales, 2 for customer service, and 3 for technical support. Then if I scroll down, you'll see DTMF and Amazon Lex. Amazon Lex is a chatbot builder which we can use to build an IVR that can understand the human language rather than pressing the buttons on the phone. But we will look into those advanced topics in the later videos. For now, we will go with the regular DTMF option. So I'll click Add Another Condition and type 1. Similarly for options 2 and 3. The timeout is by default set to 5 seconds. So if the customer doesn't press any button within 5 seconds, it'll time out and take the timeout path. I'll leave that to 5 seconds for now and click Save. Now we have the 3 options we need. Next, we need to transfer the call to the appropriate queues. So if you scroll down to the bottom and expand Terminate and Transfer, you will see the option Transfer to Queue. I'll drag and drop it into the canvas. And if you open the properties, you will see Transfer to Queue and Transfer to Callback Queue, but you don't see an option to select which queue you want to transfer to. Instead, it says when you use Transfer to Queue, you must use a Set Working Queue block to set the active queue before this block. So we need to first set the working queue before this Transfer to Queue block. Otherwise, it'll error out and take the error path. So if I scroll up, Under the set category, you can see the set working queue. I'll drag and drop it here. Open the properties, select the sales queue, and click Save. Similarly, I will drop 2 more set working queue blocks, one for customer service and another one for technical support. I'll now connect the 3 options, pressed 1, pressed 2, and pressed 3 to the set working queue blocks. And now let me just zoom this out a little bit so we get some more space to work. Alright, next we can connect the success endpoints of all the 3 set working queue blocks to the transfer to queue block. But if you remember, we set the hours of operations for customer service and sales queue as 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if someone calls after that time, it'll error out. In order to handle that, we need to put a condition to check if the particular queue is within the hours of operation or not before the transfer to queue block. So if I scroll down to the branch category, you can see check hours of operation. I'll drag and drop this into the canvas. And this block will check if the current working queue is within the hours of operation or not. And if it is within the hours, it'll take the in hours exit point. And if it is out of hours, it'll take the out of hours exit point. So I'll connect the success points to this. Now you might be wondering why we need to check the hours of operations for technical support as it is anyway 24/7. Well, it's not required at this point, but let's say in the future, if you change your hours of operation, then you may need to come back and change this. So it is always a good practice to maintain a standard approach. Alright, now let's connect the in-hours exit point to the transfer to queue block. Finally, we need to handle all these open exit points like timeout, default, error, and out of hours. So let's connect them to few play prompt blocks so that the customer will hear an error message. So I'll drag and drop a play prompt block. Open the properties, select text to speech, and I'll type, "Sorry, an error occurred. This call is being disconnected. Please call back later." And I'll click Save. Then I'll connect all the error points to this play prompt. I'll also connect the timeout point to the same play prompt. Next, I'll drop another play prompt block, open the properties, text to speech, and I'll type the message, "Sorry, that is an invalid option," and click Save. I'll connect the default exit point to this play prompt and connect this play prompt back to the get customer input block. Now what will happen is if the customer presses any button other than 1, 2, or 3, he or she will first hear the message, "Sorry, that is an invalid option," and then hear the message, "Please press 1 for sales, 2 for customer service, and 3 for technical support." Now this will go on in an infinite loop. In the later videos, I'll show you how to restrict that to 2 or 3 times and then error out. Then we have out of hours. So I'll add another play prompt. Open properties, select text to speech, and here I'll say, "Sorry, we are closed now. Please call back during our working hours," and click Save. Then connect this out of hours to this play prompt. Then finally, we have this at capacity point. If you remember when we created the queue, there was an option to set a limit for the queue. So if we would have set the limit and if that got exceeded, the call flow would have taken the at capacity path. So we will place a message like, "Sorry, all our agents are busy. Please call back later." So we'll add one more play prompt and configure this message. And I'll connect this at capacity endpoint to this play prompt. And the last step is to disconnect the call after one of these messages is played. So I'll scroll down to the bottom and drag and drop disconnect or hang up block and connect all the play prompt blocks to this. Alright, so everything looks good. I'll click Save and click Publish. It asks, are you sure you want to publish? Yes. And if I go back to the contact flows, I can see this new contact flow here. Next, we need to assign this contact flow to our phone number. So I'll go to Routing, Phone Numbers, and I'll click the phone number. And from this drop down, I'll select Busy Ping Inbound Flow and click Save. Alright, now let's test this. Let's go back to our user management page and find an agent. Alright, we will use this Jason Walker's account to log in as a technical support agent. So I'll open an incognito window and I'll log in with Jason Walker's account. I'll set the status to available. Now I'll call from my mobile and select option 3 for technical support. I'll put my phone on speaker so you will be able to hear the call.
Thank you for calling Busy Ping Broadband Services. Please press 1 for sales, 2 for customer service, and 3 for technical support. Thank you for calling. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order it was received.
Okay, the call has come through, but I'll hang up the phone for now. Alright, so we have successfully built our first IVR. You might have noticed that after I pressed option 3 for technical support, and while the call was ringing on the agent's soft phone, it played this message, "Thank you for your call. Your call is very important to us and will be answered in the order of receiving." And then the whole music was going on. We did not configure that message and the whole music. So how did that get played? Well, that's what we are going to discuss in the next video, the various types of contact flows.